Hello everyone, Wendigo here. Now earlier this morning there were some leaks about the new Mega Dream set as well as a 100 or Start Deck 100 Battle Collection as they're calling it. Now I wasn't around for the first one or the last one, and so this is actually new for me. And so this is actually quite the thing to learn about. Oh yeah, they're just going to release 100 pre-built decks. Like, wait, what? That's kind of ridiculous. But there's a couple new cards that are coming out that I kind of want to talk about, as well as doing a little bit of theory crafting or deck building. The main one being this new Mega Charizard YEX. Now, this is actually quite the interesting card, especially since it's J, so it's going to be post-rotation. And so it's really interesting to just think about this card in a post-rotation meta, as a lot of the good cards are going to be gone. You know, we got Goldango, Gardevoir, Charizard, Chien-Pao, even though it's not that great anymore, Sada's Vitality, Arven, Iono, Nestball, like Artisan. Actually, I think Artisan. Is Artisan G? I want to say it's G. That feels right to say that's G, but let me double check. It is in fact G. The technical machines, all of these amazing setup cards are all going to be gone, and it's just so wild to think about. Earthen Vessel is going to be gone. That one's going to be really big. Counter Catcher is going to be gone. That one's going to be sad. Bravery Charm is going to be gone, which I'm going to be so sad about because I love Mega Absolbox. So yeah, it's just interesting to look at this post-rotation meta, and I kind of want to just have a little bit of fun in building Mega Charizard Y because it's actually a really interesting card. So it only has one attack. I find it interesting that both the Mega Charizards have just one attack. They're really just simple cards, but they both have really interesting effects. So Mega Charizard Y has Plosion Y, which you discard 3 energy from this Pokemon, and you get to deal 280 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon for two fire and one colorless. This, honestly, I love this. This is so fun. 280 snipe is crazy. That is insane. Because you're taking out most stage 1 EXs with that, and all basic EXs are just gone. You're taking out any single prizer with that. Like, that is crazy. And then 280 is also a really good damage amount because that's so easy to make it hit 320 or 330 with max belt. And then you can make it hit even higher with things like Victini. So you can easily one-shot almost anything in format with this attack, as well as just gain the opportunity to snipe everything else in play, which is just so crazy to me. Obviously, the main thing being it's a stage 2 Mega Pokemon, so it gets knocked out. That's 3 prizes. That sucks. Another thing that sucks, you have to discard 3 energy from this Pokemon. So the biggest issue with this card is, although it's an insanely good attack, you're going to have to be discarding those energies, which really, really sucks. And so that's definitely the biggest challenge with deck building with this card is you have to pretty much be reestablishing Mega Charizard every single turn. But what you get in return is an insanely good snipe option and a pretty decent attack that can easily be boosted to knock out other things. Another really powerful new card is Pokepad, which is uh yeah, search your deck for a Pokemon without a rule box, reveal it, and put it into your hand. This is crazy for single price decks, as well as just any deck that runs single price Pokemon. Because Nestball's rotating out actually. So this is probably going to be for any deck that can't, any setup deck that can't run Buddy Poffin is going to immediately gravitate towards this. And any single prize deck is going to immediately gravitate towards this because you can just use it, grab like your Ethan's Typhlosion or something, or your Alakazam for free, no having to discard things with Ultra Ball. And it's also going to be obviously J, so it's not coming out for a little bit, but still, really powerful card here. Another card I really want to talk about here is the new Dragonair. This thing looks like it's going to be kind of fun. I know a lot of people online are already starting to kind of write it off, but I generally could see it becoming a very popular card in evolution decks, especially stage 2 decks, because it has an ability where if this Pokemon has an energy attached, any energy, mind you, you get to search your deck for an evolution Pokemon and put it into your hand. This is just so fun because just during those like first couple turns, you're obviously not really touching that much energy, you're kind of or at least you're not really having to attach that much energy, so just slap one onto Dragonair, and it just helps you set up. Especially in a world with no more Jacques, no more Arven for Ultra Ball, no more TM Evo, none of that. You don't get any of that. And so having this just guaranteed search for an evolution Pokemon is just so good. And it's not a lot of commitment either, because all it is just one energy attachment. So any deck that has really good energy acceleration will immediately want to play it. So I can easily see this being played as just like a 1-1 or a 2-1 line and Dragapult just so you can set up your Dracloaks even better. I could totally see this seeing play, and what's another evolution deck that's going to be popping up post rotation? Still though, you get what I mean. This is a really, really powerful card to just be able to just search your evolution Pokemon. We've seen cards like Genesect that have a fairly similar ability have huge success and just boost decks into BDIF overnight, like with things like Genesect Goldango, immediately just blow them up. And obviously I'm not saying that this is going to be the new Genesect, God no. But I am saying that it's going to be a very good option. It's going to be a good option for any evolution deck that wants to set up a bit more consistently. And with Dratini having 80 HP, kind of stinks, but I'm pretty sure there is a 70 HP Dratini. Let me check. Well, that's G, so that won't work. That's G. Okay, nope, never mind. So there's only going to be the 80 HP Dratini, which does suck, but like we said, we have Pokepad, so we have options. And then obviously there's the new Canary, Thick Scale, Mega Electros, Mega Dragonite, but I don't want to talk about those right now. I want to talk about Mega Charizard Y, this fun card. And so I'm probably going to be sitting here building three different decks, or at least theory crafting three different decks for y'all, because I have a couple ideas on how to go about it. Now, when I first saw the card, when I first saw the card this morning, I actually didn't realize it was Jay. So I was like, oh, we're going to run this with Pidgeot. We're going to run this with Oricorio. It's going to be so good. Then, yeah, I realized, oh, yeah, that's not an option. That is just straight up not an option because Pidgeot will have rotated out. And now that's going to be the biggest issue is how are we going to get cards in hand? How are we going to set this guy up fairly fast? How are we going to make it that attack work, Especially since there's no more jet energy, I'm pretty sure. Let me check. But I'm 90% certain jet energy is rotating out. Yeah, which is really sad because I love jet energy. Because my original plan was, all right, we use Oricorio, we fire off a big attack with Charizard Y, retreat, slam a bunch of energy on with Oricorio, jet it back up to the front, and then you discard a bunch more energy. Thing is, though, we're not going to be able to do that anymore. So I got a different idea, and that comes with what's it called? Embor, the new Embor, Inferno Fandango, which in my opinion is kind of just better Oricorio for this deck, actually. As often as you like during your turn, you may touch a basic fire energy card from your hand to one of your Pokemon. Now, of course, it's a stage 2, but remember, we're already running a stage 2, so we're already running Rare Candy. And because the only Charizard available in format will be the new 80 HP Charizard, or Charmander, we're already going to be running Pokepad, which already works insanely well with Embor, because now you can just Pokepad for Embor, Rare Candy. Now you're probably starting to see why I'm kind of freaking out about this combo now, because you can just so easily just thing is no more superior energy retrieval, which sucks, but you can still just energy retrieval once or twice, throw a bunch of energy onto your active Charizard Y, and just keep sniping the bench or building it up or adding a bunch of bonuses so you can start taking large knockouts. And so yeah, we already have a lot of the pieces to make this combo actually kind of effective. And so immediately I'm thinking, let's get Charmanders out. I'm immediately thinking we're probably just going to want to run a 4-2-3 Charizard line. And let's see. Thing is obviously Charizard is not quite in this yet. So let's see. Actually, ooh, wait a minute. Is there an old Mega? There is an old Mega Charizard Y. All right, we'll use that for our proxy then. So yeah, this is our Mega Charizard Y. And let's see here. So obviously that. And then let's see. M4. I'm thinking maybe running like a 2-2-2 line, maybe a 2-1-2 line. because I'm just gonna say immediately, I'm thinking we're probably gonna want to run 4 rare candies, just simply for the fact that obviously Team Evo is not really a thing anymore, so rare candy is back to being our best option to getting our stage twos out as fast as possible. So what it evolves into? Pignite, that's right. I was never much of an Emboar fan, so Pignite and you info from Tepig was never like on my radar, so I don't really remember their names that much. And so yeah, I think a 2-1-2 Emboar line, a 4-2-3 Charizard Y line will probably work. And then there's a reason why I brought up Dragonair, because I also want to play Dratini and Dragonair in this deck. It doesn't really matter which Dratini I grab, since the 80 HP one is the only one that's going to matter, sadly. Come on, give me it. Then yeah, we'll just... It does suck though, because we can't play the pretty awesome Dragonite. Yeah, your Pokemon play have no retreat cost, it's a G. This Dragonite would actually not be that bad, just because, obviously once you enter the late game, you have all your guys established. You don't really need to be grabbing evolution Pokemon anymore. So just being able to just grab this uh, Dragonite just so you have some free retreat would be really nice, especially since Latios can't really work. But yeah, sadly, that's not going to work. Let's see. I don't think there's any other Pokemon we would like to run. I mean, obviously a Fez. Obviously Fez and Deputy is right there. I'm thinking Chiyu. Actually, yeah, is Chiyu still around? Dang, Chiyu rotates. That's gonna hurt. Because I'm trying to think of a way to block Mimikyu. Or not Mimikyu, Crustle. Yeah, how are we gonna block Crustle? So that's actually gonna be really fun here. Let's see if there's any basic fire Pokemon that are good. Can I like... Yeah. Let's see if there's gonna be any good basic fire Pokemon. Uh, you wouldn't be too bad. Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, Reshiram. That works. Yeah, that 100% works. Yeah, no, that 100% works. And so we're already at 20. That's kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm also thinking of maybe running some Victinis. This one, yeah, the one that makes your Evolution Fire Pokemon do 10 more damage. I'm thinking maybe doing that just so we have some more options. And to also just be able to swing that tiny bit harder in case we need to, like, let's say we need to take out another Mega Pokemon. So yeah, because now we can start hitting up to 350, which is actually, yeah, that's hitting Mega Gardevoir and what's another one? I think that's about it. But yeah, that's still not bad. That gives us options. Is that what you want to do though? Because yeah, we're either hitting 300 or 350. Or I get yeah, because I'm thinking 300 just for base, 350 if we have Max Belt on. That doesn't really fix a whole lot, honestly. Really, the only thing we're taking out now is our Chaladon and Mega Gardevoir, but both of those aren't really seeing a whole lot of play. So maybe Victini might not be the road, actually. Yeah, Victini might not be the plan, actually. All right, and then for supporters, I'm immediately thinking just playing a bunch of Lily. Come on, oh yeah, that's right, because Lily is not a basic fire Pokemon. There we are. I'm immediately thinking just playing like 4 Lily. Maybe some Dawn could work too. Dawn could also be pretty good. I think maybe 2 Dawn. Yeah, 2 Dawn would also probably be not so bad. What else could we run? What other supporter could we run? Maybe Petrol. Petrol could be good. Petrol could be good. Is that how you spell petrol? How do you spell petrol? How do you spell petrol? Oh. Oh, okay. I'm thinking, yeah, maybe Team Rocket's petrol, just so we can also search out rare candy. Trying to think, we're gonna need a lot of hand draw in this deck, I feel. And then maybe a one-off Fire Breather. Fire Breather's good, but maybe not in this deck so much. I don't know, that seems like a really small line. Then obviously some Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders is just you gotta run in every deck imaginable. If you're not running boss, you're most likely losing. I feel like that's not enough. What was another thing I was thinking of? Ooh, actually, yeah. I'm probably not gonna run it, but I saw someone talking about running Salvatore. Search a deck for a card that has no abilities and evolve it from one of your Pokemon, and that has no abilities and evolves from one of your Pokemon, and put it onto that Pokemon to evolve it, then shuffle your deck. You can use this card on a poke. Yeah, that could be interesting. That could be interesting. I don't know though. I don't know. Trying to think what other supporters could I run? Wish there was a way for like format. Okay. But yeah, search. What are some other supporters we could run? Wally's isn't bad actually. Wally's is not a bad idea. Fennel, no. Hilda, maybe, maybe. Black Belt's not bad. Did Research get reprinted? I don't think Research got reprinted. Brock Scouting also wouldn't be that bad, actually. Um, I think that's kind of it for supporters we would want to run. Yeah, I think it's kind of about it, honestly. There's not a whole lot of other supporters we would like to run. Maybe Lanizade? Lanizade could maybe be good. I'm not sure, though. I'm not so sure about that. Obviously, can't run Iona no more. Can't run Atticus. Sadly, no Arven, as awesome as Arven would be in this deck. Yeah, I think that's kind of about it. I don't think there's much else we can run. All right. And then, yeah, let's go to items. So actually, yeah. So let's grab, so we're going to say that Poke Gear, yeah, let's say this camping gear is, which one is it? Where is it? Let's say camping gear is our Pokepad. Because obviously we can't really run Buddy Poffin, because the only thing Buddy Poffin's grabbing is Tepig, which is like, eh. Definitely some Ultra Ball, because it did get reprinted, thankfully. Then yeah, probably just a 4 of Rare Candy, because Rare Candy also got reprinted, thankfully. If Rare Candy didn't get reprinted, I have no idea what I'd do. Ooh, okay, so we're already starting to run out of space. That's not fun. Um, can't really run Counter Catcher. What's another tool we could run? Oh yeah, retrievals. How do you spell retrieval? I don't know. I'm probably dyslexic. Maybe let's run 4 retrieval. That feels good. 3 for now. 3 for now. We'll see if we have space for another. And then, what would be another good item to run? Da 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 da. Oh yeah, Blowtorch. Blowtorch, obviously. Any fire deck wants to run Blowtorch because it's just kind of good. Maybe, nah, Switch is, Actually, yeah, isn't, that Stretcher is H. That's pretty good. So yeah, probably just grab some Stretcher and then, yeah, we'll probably be good. Maybe like 2 Stretcher. That feels right. Because yeah, Super Rod. Is Super Rod rotating? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it sadly is. That's going to be wild to play the game with no Super Rod. And before we move on, I actually want to add Fire Energy because I think we're probably just gonna want to run like maybe 7? Yeah, probably 7 because yeah, we don't have a whole lot of space left. Definitely Air Balloon because Air Balloon's really good. What other tool would we want to run? I don't know. There's a lot of options. I mean, actually, maybe not post rotation. Actually, let's check out tools. Yeah, there's kind of not a whole lot of amazing tools that aren't in G. Maybe Power Glass? Power Glass could be not so bad, actually. So yeah, maybe Power Glass. Oh yeah, that was another thing. Max Belt. I forgot about that. Yeah, definitely not Big Air Balloon. That one's... Yeah, that's G. Alright. Alright, so we're already starting to run out. I think maybe a second Air Balloon would be good. Then what stadium do we want to run? Because yeah, we can't run Artisan no more. There's no good Fire Stadium. Maybe we just go Battle Coliseum? Or not Battle Coliseum, was it Battle Cage? That's what it is, Battle Cage. We could just do Battle Cage. That could work. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of great... Yeah, there's not a lot of great stadiums right now. So I think honestly, yeah, just running like some battle cage would work, honestly. Hopefully fire types gets honestly, I'm hoping fire types gets a lot of support in the upcoming set just because there's kind of not a lot. Actually, I might drop a battle cage to add another petrol. I think that's yeah, I think that's the smart idea. All right, and yeah, this is actually feeling pretty good. And so yeah, the main idea is to just, you know, try and just uh rare candy into Emboar, Charizard Y as soon as possible. Get get up a Dragonair so we can hopefully help that a tiny bit more. Get some Dawn so we can do that more as well. Actually, ooh yeah, Dawn could be really good for getting like Dragonair and then getting another stage two. Yeah, Dawn could actually be pretty good in this deck. Um, yeah, yeah. I think this is probably the best thing I can do for a just straight Megazard build. I do think Emboar is better than the Oricorio just because it attaches to active. So you don't have to do a bunch of switching nonsense. You can just simply keep your Charizard inactive. I'm also not against dropping Fire Breather for like a Wally's Compassion, especially since you're probably never going to have energy on your Charizard anyway, and even if you do, you could just Emboar it right back on. So yeah, I'm definitely not against the idea of a Wally's Compassion, especially since, Charizard's a big 360 HP Pokemon, so it's going to kind of struggle to get one shot, or at least your opponent's not going to be able to one shot too often. Um, what else? Actually, ooh, we could run Gravity Mountain. Is Gravity Mountain? That is an H. We could run Gravity Mountain. I don't know though. We are running a stage two, so I don't like the idea of bumping our Mega into 360. I'm not a fan of that idea. But at the same time, then we're able to hit what it would be like 360 on ours. So maybe that's definitely an idea. Is Gravity Mountain? I actually do feel like there's a lot of options you can build with this, just because it is a kind of very straightforward. It's just a very good attacker. It doesn't need a lot of support besides Emboar, and Emboar also gives us a lot of other options with things like Reshiram, just because Reshiram's also just a really good backup attacker, because 240 is kind of cracked, not gonna lie. We are only running 3 energy retrievals. I'm not a fan of that. So honestly, I might just drop the stadium for another retrieval. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that. But we do have Blowtorch, so we have options. Yeah, we have Blowtorch, so we have options if we do need to. I might drop to a 1-1 Dragonair line. That might be what I do. Maybe drop like to a 2-1 line so I can have Battle Coliseum. I think that works, yeah. Because I'm just thinking like Dragapult is just such a freaking menace. Which actually, ooh, speaking of which, Psyduck. I did not think about Psyduck. I did not think about Psyduck at all. What the heck is this? That's amazing. I love that. Yeah, I didn't think about Psyduck at all, because yeah, that'll definitely be kind of annoying. I mean, still, uh, with like a full Dusknoir pop, Dragapult's only hitting like 330, so we'll still survive. And we can, with things like Max Belt, we can easily one-shot it. So I think we'll be okay. Yeah, Embor's 130, so we don't really have to worry about that getting popped. None of our guys are stat low. None of our babies are that low of health. Yeah, none of them are 50 HP, so they can't get bumped or popped by What is it? Duskull? Not Duskull, Dusclops. So I don't think we need Psyduck. Yeah, I think this is good, actually. Alright, so yeah, that's one version of Mega Dragonite. Or not Mega Charizard. Why? Mega Dragonite's the other guy. That's one version of it. Let's get into another version. Oh, that is all wrong. Right, so I had another version or another idea, and that was to play with both Mega Charizards, since they both actually aren't too bad together, they both have their merits, You have the Mega Charizard Y for sniping, Mega Charizard X for just big, big damage. And I think in this build, let's see, probably, yeah, again, run for those. Probably bump it up to 3 Charmeleon, just because, we're probably going to want to just sit on our Charmeleons until we're like, all right, in this situation, we want to pop Mega Charizard, we want to pop out Charizard X, or in this situation, we want to pop out Charizard Y. So I feel like having just Charmeleon on standby is probably the better option. Let's see here, you are G, and you're also G. How lovely. Yeah, I feel like that's the better option. Then I think for this one, we're probably going to run the Embor line again, just because Embor is really, really good. Although, actually, with the extra deck space, because yeah, this is a lot of deck space we're going to have to be eating up with this. Especially since we're going to have to run way more energy and more energy retrieval, I might actually switch to Oricorio. Yeah, I think we're just going to switch to Oricorio so we can just slam down a bunch of energy. Yeah, I think that's better. I think that is better. Just because, yeah, we kind of need to save up on deck space. And we're probably almost always going to be able to have a Mega Charizard in play. What else would we want to run? Obviously Fez, obviously Fez. That will never change. I think in this version we're probably also going to want to run Max Rod, just so, we can discard a bunch of energy and then get it back so we can pop off with Charizard X or Charizard Y just for some sniping. I actually do feel like this is probably pretty good. Then I think maybe the Dragonair line again would be really good, actually. Just because of how. Because now we're running even more evolution Pokemon. So yeah, we're running way less Pokemon, so I don't know. Then probably Reshiram again, just for Mimikyu counters. Let's see. I think this will work. That is one thing I really don't like about Fire type right now is it has no good draw engine. Like there really is just no good draw engine. But I think this will work. Another thing that really sucks is Oricorio only attaches to bench. That's why in the other build I chose to go with Emboard just because it can attach to active. But I think in this build will probably be a bit better just because we're able to alternate between attackers. So we're probably going to run a bit more Air Balloon. Well, not more. We're probably just going to run 2 Air Balloon and focus a bit more on it. Maybe even run a Town Store. Maybe? Definitely, again, just run 4 Lily. And again, probably some Dawn. Petrol again, just because Petrol. I think maybe a 4th Petrol could be good in this, honestly. Then here's kind of a crazy thing. I think we're just going to run 1 boss. Because the idea with the other one is like, with the regular Charizard Y build, we can just boss up something inactive and then bench and then snipe around it. But in this build, we have options. Oh, we need to take out something on the bench, build up Charizard Y. We need to take a big knockout on the active, build up Charizard X. You kind of don't really need to snipe too, or you don't really need to like boss around too much. So I feel like we can probably lower our boss count and be happy. I will say though, we probably double up our fire breather count. Yeah, I think going 2 fire breathers a bit better. And yeah, we're already having way better deck space, which is great. Let's see, any other supporters we could run? Again, we can run a Wally. Wally's not bad. I think maybe we can run Surfer? Actually, yeah, a Surfer wouldn't be too bad. Just a one-off Surfer. It is H. Yeah, I think a one-off. We go back to just camping gear or what is it called again? Pokepad, yeah. Definitely a bunch of Pokepad. Again, some Ultra Ball. Uh, again, in this build, we can probably get away with just running 3 candy. Yeah, I think we can get away with just running 3 candy just because we're not having to, like, be as aggressive with our Charizard, with evolving into Charizard. Obviously, max out energy retrieval just because, yeah, we're going to be discarding a bunch of energy. Let's see, what's another thing that could work? Definitely some night stretchers, obviously. Hmm, definitely max rod. Trying to think, what else did we run in the other deck? Yeah, heat burner is really good. Yeah, probably just run heat burner again, yeah. Or blowtorch as it is now been revealed. Okay, yeah. And yeah, we're already doing way better, although I would like to run 10 fire energy in this deck. So we're gonna have to figure that out. Let's also get 2 air balloon and then we'll be good. And now we have to figure out what to cut. Probably Surfer, probably Dragonair. We can probably lose Reshiram just because, yeah. Because if they would try to Reshiram our X, we can just bring up Y and just snipe around it. And yeah, that actually feels pretty good. Just a very clean list, honestly. But I feel like that's what kind of works for Charizard. Okay, is it still working? It is in fact still working. Yeah. I feel like just having this, honestly, it kind of reminds me of freaking uh Charizard Dragapult in a way, just because you have two very different attackers, but they both kind of synergize very well. Just in the fact that, they both really like just having a bunch of energy slammed into play, which you can do with Oricorio. I definitely don't think this would have worked with Pignite though, just because, or Emboar with Emboar, just because there's not nearly enough space. But I feel like this should work. I feel like this should work. Yeah, I think having the 4 petrol is really good, just so you can either grab your Max Rod or your Retrieval anytime you need. So I think, yeah, Megazard Y V2. There we are. So yeah, this is our second version of Megazard, with running both Megazards, as I definitely feel like they both have really good synergy. Like I said, they both like you slamming a bunch of energy into play, and they both kind of fill up each other's roles. Because Megazard Y, like unless you do a bunch of shenanigans, you can't really take big knockouts on like big stage 2 Pokemon. Both Megazard, that's like exactly what it wants to do. And so yeah, there's definitely like early game you're probably just going to snipe around with Zard Y. Moment they actually get into play and bring out something big, you switch to Zard X and you just blow up their active. And yeah, with Retrieval and Max Rod, you're definitely going to have an easy time getting those 10 energy back into play. I will say though, it's definitely going to be rough trying to get. Because, yeah, Oricorio only does benched annoyingly. I hate that's only bench. I hate that's bench. It should not be benched. That generally does infuriate me so much. Yeah, this feels like a clean list, actually. I like this a lot. This legitimately might. I don't know. I really like Megazard Y. It's definitely going to be a deck I'm going to build the moment it's released. And this is feeling really, really good for it. All right, and then third up, yeah, new Pokemon deck. All right, and third up, we're probably going to run this one more like a box deck with Megazard being the main attacker, but with other attackers like, yeah. So yeah, we're probably just going to run 2 of those. Probably a one-off. We're probably still just going to run a one-off of that one, but we're going to run other things immediately. Probably just run like 2 Charmanders and then maybe 1 Charmeleon. Yeah, yeah. And then, yeah, we're going to run Oricorio. Oricorio. Right, we're gonna Oricorio. And then, yeah, let's search up what basic fire attackers we have. Because we have a couple good ones. Let's see. Pokemon Fire Basic. There we are. Yeah, we have a couple really good basic fire Pokemon. So I'm immediately thinking Reshiram just because 240 is really fun. What others? Oh yeah, Reshiram EX. That was actually, ooh, that's something I was forgetting to put in the other list, but yeah, I guess I didn't really have space. And then where is it? There's another one I was thinking of. Ethan's Ho-Oh, that could be a funny one, actually. Ethan's Ho-Oh could be funny. Then, yeah, I was thinking gouging fire if I could find it. Is it? It is H. That's great. Hmm. But yeah, I'm definitely thinking like you get, yeah, you get Oricorio because does it only go to benched? Yeah, you benched fire Pokemon. So yeah, so you can only power up fire Pokemon with this. But yeah, I'm thinking you get your Megazord in play, and then you can like so you can unlock Oricorio, and then you use Oricorio to power up either Gouging Fire, Reshiram, or the other Reshiram, just in case, or your Megazards. I am thinking they'll probably won't need you, maybe? I don't know, you're kind of not that great, especially since we already have you, and we're probably just going to run a Brave Bengal. Yeah, so I think we're straight up just going to cut you. Because, yeah, Brave Bengal Reshiram just seems kind of better. Yeah, yeah, 100%, 100%. And so, yeah, obviously get some Pheasantipity, because Pheasantipity is just the best thing ever. There's no way around it. As depressing as it is, every deck needs to run Fez. See, are there any other Pokemon we would like to run? I don't really think so, honestly. I think we're happy with that. But yeah, we're definitely like early game, we're going to be using Reshiram. If we need to, we can snipe around with Zard or do big damage with Zard X. And then late game, we're hitting with Reshiram EX for big damage. So that's definitely the idea here, is to just kind of use Megazard more as an enabler for Oricorio, as well as just being a really good attacker in its own right. So once again, for Lily, the main reason why I'm wanting to run so much Lily in these decks is just because you need raw draw. You need a lot of raw draw for Zard to get the rare candies and stuff like that. So it just makes it better, as well as to just get a bunch of energy into hand. Which actually, speaking of which, we're probably just going to run 10 fire energy again. We're probably just going to run 10 fire energy again. Probably play 4 petrol again, just to cherry pick what we need to get like a specific combo off. Definitely some boss too. Probably just play like a one-off Dawn in this list, just because we're way less reliant on getting the evolution out. Yeah. Or there's way less evolving we're having to do in this deck, because it really is just once we set up like 1 or 2 Zards, then we're kinda good. We're kinda good for the game. What else? Definitely Fire Breather. Fire Breather is definitely going to be good in a deck like this, just so we can just slam down a bunch of energy. What else would we want to do? I think that's about it. So actually, in a deck like this, we're gonna love Pokenav, just because our main attacker is going to be more Reshiram. So Pokenav's going to be good here. I can even see an excuse for 4 Ultra Ball in this list. Maybe just run 2 Rare Candy? No, we'll still run 3. 3 feels good. I don't know. Maybe we can do that. Okay, yeah, 2 Rare Candy, 2 Charmeleon. That feels better. Let's see, what else? Energy Retrieval, obviously, because Retrieval is just so necessary. Probably get some more Night Stretchers. Instead of running just 2, we're probably going to run 3 in this list. Blowtorch as well, or Heat Burner, that's what it is, yeah. Heat Burner as well. We actually have a lot of space here. Let's see, what else? What's in the other decks? Yeah, we're kind of actually doing really good on space, strangely enough. It's kind of surprising, not gonna lie. Max Rod, because Max Rod's pretty good. In this one, I actually do feel like Gravity Mountain will be really good. And then, yeah, we're probably going to be running more tools. So Air Balloon, and then I want a Brave Bengal. Just so we can start hitting 270 off of the Reshiram. Yeah, that feels right. Yeah, okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I like this a lot, actually. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because, yeah, we're able to hit 270 with Reshiram, and if we're against stage 2, we can hit 300 with Reshiram, which is actually really good on a single prizer. That's really good. Yeah, I actually really like this Reshiram. Just 240 on a single prizer is kind of cracked, especially in a format like this especially in a mega deck. Mega decks love single prizers, and so Reshiram feels really good. And then obviously the other Reshiram just for late game will feel really good too. Um, yeah, I'm actually really liking this one. Honestly, this isn't even Megazord Y. This is more just Megazord box. This is just Mega Charizard box. Yeah, obviously fire breathers to just get a bunch of energy into play so we can then slam them down onto our guys. Boss, just because as much as I'm praising Reshiram, it only is hitting 240, 270. So we're definitely gonna need some bosses, but we still have the other Megazord Y to be able to do other stuff. But yeah, I'm actually kind of liking this. I'm not gonna lie. This is actually looking really good. Yeah, 3 night stretchers, so we can just bring back our Rush Rams if we need to. Ultra Ball, so we can just have an easier time rare candying into Megazord if we need to, or just grabbing other things. Yeah, I like this a lot actually. Alright, yeah. I'm actually really happy with these decks. These all feel really good. So yeah, you can definitely tell like Megazord Y has so much potential behind it just because of the pre-existing fire engine and all the fire cards with Oricorio, Fire Breather, Blowtorch to a much lesser extent. But still, just 280 to active or bench is really good, and it gives you so many other options. Just with Oricorio having so much energy acceleration for just playing the deck you want to play. So yeah, you have a lot of options. I personally think if I were to play the deck, I'd probably go with either version 1 or version 2, just because they feel the best, as they're just going more just pure Zard. I'm probably going to play Megazord. Why? Just because I feel like Embor is way better than Oricorio, just because there's a lot less switching you're having to do. Actually, I can probably drop the Reshiram in this one. And now we'll keep it. Now, obviously, we can't really go into, TCG Live and play these as awesome as that would be. I genuinely wish we could. That'd be so fun. But honestly, I might, once Pokemon Proxies gets a proxy card for these guys, I'm probably going to be proxying out a deck. And maybe I'll see if I can get someone who'd be okay with filming a video with me with live gameplay. Because that'd be awesome. That'd be really, really fun. Um, Obviously, no promises. We never know what's going to happen. But yeah, Megazord's going to be really fun. I'm really excited for this post-rotation format, as it's going to be really fun. As there's a lot of things that are going to have to change. Deck building as a whole is going to have to just change fundamentally just because of how many things we're losing and how many things are not really replacing what we're losing. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting just seeing how decks evolve over the next couple years. Because yeah, rotation or the G block, it feels a lot like the F block, where it's just like there are just so many powerful cards that shape the meta, and we're just in every meta deck. So now that these cards that are in every meta deck are gone, every deck is just going to be affected by it so hard. So it's definitely going to be a very interesting transition, but I'm honestly looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to when Megazord drops. Um, Honestly, I'm actually really excited for Mega Dragonite as it's looking pretty good. Mega Electros, not so much. Canary is going to be pretty good, but yeah, I'm pretty excited. But with that all being said, it's enough of my rambling. I'll see you all in the next episode, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.